I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is all the mods Volcano Block. Today is World Download Day, so be sure to get access to your World Download if you're a supporter of any tier, and that is all handled over on the Discord. So join the Discord, discord.gg/ChosenArchitect, and join the amazing crew today if you haven't already. Of course, guys, let's get on with today's episode. Now, today's episode is going to be very interesting, so I hope you guys are ready for this as we dabble with a new mod that I've never played with called Ars Omega, which is an extension to the Ars Nouveau mod. And this is going to be pretty darn cool. And we're also going to be dabbling into the Occultism mod. Now, my idea for this is to set up Occultism in this new custom dimension that is added from Ars Omega. And so the idea around this is we're going to travel to this demonic land, and this demonic land is where we're going to set up our other demonic mod, Occultism. I'm pretty darn excited for this. So how do we exactly get to this new demonic dimension? Well, first things first, we need to craft a couple of things using our Ars implementations here. And that is going to require us to make ourselves a tablet of demonic summoning. And of course, you need to have gone to the end in order to have obtained this, because you were going to need shulker shells. And thankfully, last episode, we also automated shulker shells. So we have them all set up, all of these materials, to be able to make the tablet of summoning. Now, I don't know exactly how much source this is going to require, if it even requires source, because some of these summoning rituals do not require source at all. We're going to need to do this ritual to be able to make the Tablet of Banishment. This Tablet of Banishment is going to require these seared flesh, and these come from these demons. And this is how we're going to obtain these demons. Now, I think I could potentially mob imprisonment them and potentially summon more in with a mob imprisonment tool. So I do want to try that out and see if we can't do that. But first, we of course need to summon them in. So with a ritual pedestal and some source jars, we'll see if we even need the source jars, but we can put this down and hopefully summon ourselves some demons. This sounds kind of weird, but yeah, there we go. So we activate it. It doesn't look like it requires any kind of source or anything. And then this should, oh, it does need source. Okay. So it says source needed. We just give it some source. As you can see, it is consuming it. And it might need a bunch of it. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these. I love how they sound like wolves. And let's see if this gives us enough flesh. Oh, nice. Wow, we took those guys out pretty quickly. And look, it gave us the seared flesh. And we also have one for potential duplicating later. That's pretty darn cool. And so we're going to use this in order to make the ritual that should get us into a new dimension. However, it does require a bit of crafting. So we are going to need diamonds to go into this imbuement setup here. And these are going to get converted from the source nearby into a special kind of diamond that we need, which is called enchanted diamonds, right? Or actually, no, we make infused diamonds and then we make the enchanted diamonds. So once we have this infused diamond, we then need to take this and throw it over here, and it becomes enchanted from these items that I have set up. And so this is just sort of jump starting our tablet of banishment that we're going to be making. We also need a blink glyph, which of course is just a level 3 glyph. But we should be able to go ahead and at least craft it because we're not putting it into our book. So here we go. I have the Tablet of Banishment. Now, this mod in this current version is a little bit wonky as we don't actually have access to the book that tells us how all of these things work. So bear with me here. You may not have access to this control that shows up because there is a material in this part of this Ars Omega mod that you guys won't have access to, and even I don't have access to. As far as my knowledge goes. And that is going to be the Gorgon Gem. This actually is supposed to spawn in overworld structures, but unfortunately those overworld structures aren't spawning. So you won't be able to make the Arcane Compendium, which actually opens up the information inside of your documentation here related to this part of the mod. So instead, you're just kind of relying on me at the moment, and I'm relying on hoping that this information is correct. So bear with me if any of this goes awry. because I still have no idea how much source is required, and it does tell me this is a one-way trip, so I'll be going there. But if you didn't have any means of teleportation like this advanced charge porter, we wouldn't have a way of getting back. So we just need to keep that in mind, and we should be able to use warp scrolls to go there. So long as that's not like prevented somewhere in the code. Just in case, though, if that's the case, I will go ahead and add an access with RF tools to that dimension. Now, if we are going to be going to another dimension, I kind of want to set up some dimensional access to my terminal here, some cross-dimensional access. And to do that, I need to make these infinity boosters. And I was kind of waiting on getting unobtainium, but we did manage to get all of that set up last episode. So all of this is ready to go. The only thing I need to do is just take some of the wireless boosters that I currently have stored up and put those to good use. So I think the wireless booster, yeah, is up here. So I'll just go ahead and take some of the cards out because this is going to be disappearing anyways. And we can just use those to make our new upgraded cards, right? I should have access to everything. Let's go ahead and make these. And we're going to need at least 4 of these, right? Yeah, we need 4 of them because our upgrade here is going to cost that. So let's go ahead and craft like a stack of those. And we need 4 of these. Looks like they do not stack. And then this would give us infinite range in the overworld. And then this gives us infinite range here all across all dimensions. And I think that is the ultimate range card right here, giving us access now infinitely. Oh, it's so good. Infinite range. And it says it only uses 9 AE a tick. What? That seems kind of absurd. Like, that's not a lot at all. But now we should have, yeah, infinite access even in another dimension. So let's go ahead and set up this tablet of banishment and see if we can't banish ourselves. And I do, like I said, have a matter transmitter, but I also want to find a good location there to set up the stuff for occultism, which I think is going to be one of the funnest parts about using this dimension. So I don't know if this is going to be enough, but it does say it takes about a minute for this ritual to activate. And in that time, it is going to need a lot of source. So I have 13 source jars for this to kind of go with the theme being very spooky. And I hope this is going to be enough source. So it's supposed to teleport or technically consume us and send us to the Netherworld. Any entity that's within the range of it. So if you had like a cow here, it should also consume that. So I think we'll be fine. And it should take us. So let's put this in and let's see if this is enough. So it's consuming the source and it says it takes a little bit of time. And I don't know how much, but it says it takes a large amount of source. So if it needs more, we can always go get more. Oh, that was it. Oh, that was so loud. And we are underground inside the demonic stone. Oh, it is so dark. Let's turn on our night vision so we can see. So there's obsidian underneath us. Interesting. Already super interesting. But we are in a new dimension, and I'm wondering if there is a space up top here, or if I get super unlucky, spawned in some kind of massive mountain. That's probably the case, because it does look like there is sort of this overworld thing, unless it's very similar to the Nether, which it might be. This actually might be the top of the world. I might be better off just sort of flying in one direction, maybe. I'm in the Y100s, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of go forward here and see if we can't start to head in, I don't know, we need to go this way, which is south. So we'll just continue heading in this direction and hope I find an exit. Aha, here we are. Yes, we have made it here. And this is sort of what it looks like. Well, let's turn this off. It is super spooky without night vision. So just bear in mind that with night vision, it's kind of bearable, but still has that green tint. Weird. This is still apparently a work in progress. And there's like new mobs and stuff. What are you? He looks like, oh my gosh, what's the name of that movie with the T-Rex? Oh man, I'm gonna have to look up this movie now. Oh yeah, the movie's called We're Back. Yeah, roll back the rock to the dawn of time and sing this song with me. Oh God, so good. So yeah, there's a lot of like ore and stuff in this dimension. Apparently I couldn't mine that with this tool. Probably needs like netherite or something. But yeah, these guys spawn in here and they drop all of that flesh and stuff. But I think setting up shop in this dimension might not be a horrible idea. Yeah, this little guy totally reminds me of the dinosaur from We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. Look at those eyes. Look at those. I think this guy also drops apparently a material that we need. Yeah, there's the tooth. And what are these? Some kind of... Look at their eyeballs. Oh, that's so cool looking. And I wonder if these drop anything. I love how I just like start to just kill everything in a dimension, hoping they drop just something. There's a whole gaggle of T-Rexes. Is that what you call a group of T-Rexes? No idea. I've never experienced them. But yes, I need to find a pretty decent place because, like I said, I want to set up occultism here. This realm is so demonic. It even generates these. What is this realm? Oh my goodness. I think this will be a good place though to set up shop for occultism. And I'm wanting to sort of change this terrain, but I want to set it up right here. As this mod has a lot of interesting things, like occultism is going to require quite a bit of space to set up all of the rituals. But I guess this is where this this 31 by 31 is really going to come into play, because I can just clear out huge areas of land and flatten them out very quickly. And of course, we're going to be using our own materials to lay out the ground. But yeah, this is pretty darn cool. Like I'm liking this. Now, something you want to keep an eye out for, this thing that I destroyed earlier, apparently this is like, if you run into it, this is a way that you can teleport back into the overworld. So like if something happens, that's one way to do it. And so, yeah, just thought I would mention that. And I'm about to start terraforming this whole area, like setting it all up. I also noticed these guys drop gems quite frequently. At least it seemed like they were. So this could also, yeah, they drop these gems. And so this could be a potential farm. Like you could potentially farm these gems from these mobs. Now I'm starting to get this all laid out. And the reason why I'm setting up these platforms here is because these rituals that we're going to end up making from the occultism mod, well, they take up usually a 7x7 space. So they do take up quite a bit of area here. And so having a 9x9, which is basically what this is going to be like the perfect match for most of these rituals. But with the platform set up, I don't think it gets any more like demonic creepy looking than this. Without my lights on, everything is super dark. I'm pretty sure the lighting is kind of messed up in this dimension, but it kind of just adds to the effect. And because I'm using sort of a similar palette to what we're using in our base, just to kind of keep things, you know, going and the theme kind of the same. And I think it fits really good. I added some warped blocks in here, some warp blocks, and this is looking pretty good. Now, to get into occultism, so inside of this book, you can actually go ahead and expand everything, and so that way you can see everything that we're going to need. And that's a really nice feature, so you don't have to go through step by step every single time in order to get started with this mod. But some of the major things that we're going to need access to is basically the chalks. And we're going to eventually lead to the magical swords. This actually is not too difficult, and none of the items that are required for the All the Mod Star are actually too difficult to get in this mod. So we need an empty soul gem. This is one of them. This does require the Sojourner's Higher Binding, and you can click this, or you're supposed to be able to click this to be able to see the ritual. But we can actually see this ritual inside of our book. So when it does mention the rituals, we can actually take a dive into those rituals from here and find those through this, right? And so all of these will have markings, and it will show you and give you an outline for being able to place these down. Oh boy, I probably should have went bigger because some of these, yeah, some of these require more than a 9x9. But anyways, like this super large ritual, for example, is like a late game and a higher tier one. So keep that in mind. We still might need to expand these platforms off for these bigger rituals, and I'll just add a bigger platform out here to support these. Now, interestingly enough, we do need to farm a few things, and this is kind of funny, I think, because this reminds me of the Nether. However, it is not the Nether, so keep that in mind when setting this up, because I'm going to be placing some dirt down and some water in this dimension. As you can see, it does let me place it down, and this is going to allow me to till this so I can put down some demon dream seeds. which you do get from just regular grass. And if we grow this, this should give us this demon fruit. And then we can eat it. Now, eating it causes this weird effect that allows us to see certain types of logs and materials in this world while we have this activated. And this is called the third eye. So that's what this kind of effect is. And we're probably going to have to use it later on. It all depends. But really, the main thing we need is just this demon fruit. So we need one of these and a flint and steel. And let's go ahead and place this down. And I do want to put this strategically over here. This does not burn stuff, but if you light this on fire, as you can see, this creates spirit fire. And we can throw andesite into this, and that will get us stone. We're going to be using a lot of other stone. And then I believe there is the other logs, other wood. And this is supposed to be found in groves and is only visible with a third eye. But I think there should be another way for us to get this. Yeah, so basically we put oak saplings and we toss them in here. And as soon as we have this going, we can kind of jumpstart this. But if we toss one in, we end up getting ourselves a oak sapling from this mod, which is the Occultism version. And I guess I could just use some regular dirt for now to grow this up. And so I'll place the dirt right in here. Oop, I end up just completely doing the opposite. Okay, we'll get the dirt in, and then I should be able to grow this sapling. Now, I don't know if I'm going to need, yeah, because by default, it's just oak logs. So this is where I have to consume this fruit and get the third eye in order to be able to harvest this log. As you can see, this is not oak logs anymore. So whenever I harvest it, I'm now getting other wood. And that's the material we're going to need. We are going to need some other wood. And also, we just got ourselves, I believe, some more of these saplings. I believe the saplings still drop. But if not, like I said, we can just toss these back in. And we can continue to grow this tree and continue to eat the eat the demon dream fruit. Of course, we have to get that effect. And you may not always get the effect when consuming it. There we go. So that gives us some of this other world wood, and that's one of the other major materials we're going to need. And then last but not least, we can throw diamonds in here, and that gets us the Spirit Attuned gems, all of which are things that we are going to need in order to basically progress through this. Now, I do need to turn this other world wood into the ashes, because the ashes are what we're going to use in order to make the chalks here. So we're just going to need the impure chalk to kind of get started, but I think the higher tier rituals, for example, the storage accumulator, and then we're also going to need the dimensional matrix. These, I think, this is the, so this is the dimensional matrix ritual. Does it tell me? Okay, so the, Strigors, you're going to laugh at me through this whole thing, because I have a hard time pronouncing these names. This is going to be listed here. So if we can find that right here, higher binding. And we can take a look in this, and judging by this, we are going to need, I believe this is red chalk. No, we're going to need purple and yellow in order to craft this particular ritual. So that's something we can go ahead and start working towards, because we're going to need this ritual, and we're also going to need several others in order to make this. And this one also requires this same ritual here. But I think this one requires, yeah, this, to craft the ultimate one, is going to require the Spectral Compulsion ritual, which if we back out of this, this is the Spectral Compulsion. So really it looks like we don't have to go too far into this. We should just need yellow and normal chalk. Now I do need to pop back into the overworld real quick, because we do need to smelt a bit of this other stone so we can have ourselves some burnt stone. But just to show you, this is super cool. I can go ahead and set the location, and we can just spawn right back into this dimension. No need for mana or anything like that. Oh, I love this. So now for the fun part. We need to make impure chalk. Actually, 2 of them to be exact. Because we're going to make a regular white impure chalk, which is just by simply tossing this in. And then we need to take this and turn it into impure, which normally, in order to get gold, you'd have to make yourself one of the basic demons from this mod. But I don't think we're going to have to do that in order to get into this. This should be actually quite straightforward. And we can start producing our first ritual, right? So this is going to require the higher binding, which is pretty straightforward. And it's the same thing that this uses. But I think the first one that I want to make is this right here, the Spectral Compulsion. So this is going to be one of the first ones that we make, and probably one of the first items that we generate, because generating the storage from this mod is actually pretty simple. And it does look like if we wanted to dive into more occultism, of course we can go into it more later on, but yeah, here is the spectrum, and this is a very simple ritual, just like this. So we'll place it down. We are going to need some of these attuned crystals, and I think these are something we can craft, right? Let's see, spirit attuned crystals. Yeah, we just craft the attuned gems that we have, and that's why we're going to get these. Now we can use normal candles, but what you normally do from this mod is you actually use the tallow that you get from actually killing some mobs. That's going to be kind of a pain actually, because we have to yeah, somehow make these candles unless we use regular Minecraft candles. And I don't know if we have the resources to do this. Do we have honeycombs? We have a couple of honeycombs actually, but I don't think that's enough. Yeah, I think I'm going to go the occultism way to do this. And that is by making the butcher knife. And well, we need to kill a couple of mobs. And you know what? I have a perfect place for killing these things. Yeah, right here. And I think this will end up dropping the things we need. Oh, you know what? It might not. It might not. These will of course automatically breed up, so I'm not super worried about them. Oh, it's not dropping it. So we're going to have to get it from like pigs or cows, I think, or sheep. So yep, this is definitely going to be one of the best ways to do it. I just placed down some delightful dirt out here, and killing these cows with this butcher knife should drop us some of the materials for this. And that's the key word. Good. Well, after some trial and error, I think I found an area that this works best in, and this is what we need, the tallow from occultism. And yeah, this actually spawned in a flourishing walker. I wasn't expecting it to spawn in a walker, but yeah, it does work best, I think, on pigs. So unfortunately, we have to take down a couple of piggies. I love how initially I attempted to do this on every mob, every mob except the ones that actually work. Oh goodness. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in and get some pigs spawning in real quick. And this shouldn't use very much essence in order for me to just, yeah, get it this way. That's probably the easiest way. I'll just leave that in there for now. And we should be able to now head back and make these. So I've already made a couple of them from it. But yeah, we're going to need like 8, of course. I think the other one also requires these. So yeah, to set this up, we just go ahead and place these in and just follow the markings. Like it doesn't get any simpler than this. And there's really nothing else that's insane or crazy about doing this. You just simply place them in. By the way, if you do place in the wrong chalk without actually crafting this, which is the chalk brush, it's gonna be a lot harder to break the chalk. Like, yeah, if you mess up, it's definitely better to just make a chalk brush. So we'll go ahead and place in all of the white ones, making sure that I'm able to see the ones that I'm doing. You can see here, there we go. That should all be in. And then the yellow ones. And then last but not least, we are going to need a sacrificial bowl. And this is where the other stone is going to come into play. And the sacrificial bowl is just this right here. We can go ahead and add that. We're going to be making a lot of these like regular bowls. But yeah, the sacrificial just gets surrounded by gold. And there we go. Now that's complete, but to be able to actually make, for example, this altar, we are going to need, as you can see, regular sacrificial bowls. And those go on the outside of this ritual. And for this one, we just need 4 of them. And they can go out here, just so long as they're near this, I believe. I don't know the exact distance that it has to be, but it does need to go near them. And we just simply place the items in and follow whatever the ritual requires. So by default, this ritual for making this is going to require this otherworldly stone pedestal. And by the way, we're going to need 2 of these, so we might as well go ahead and get 2 of them made up. Yeah, we're going to eventually need 2 dimensional storage accumulators, because they're used in this like little ritual down here, this little thing from the Souls mod. So down here, we just got to get those made. So anyways, 2 of these. I'm going to go ahead and get that prepped up. Perfect. And just, yeah, make 2 of each item required, right? So here we go. I'm just going to need gold, and then we're going to need this right here, the Book of Binding, the foliate, and it needs to be bound. So we're going to need this book right here. This is going to use white dye. I should have all of the ingredients for this. But yeah, it's just basically a book and quill, and then it's some ink, which is some black dye. That should be straightforward enough. And we just toss that into the flames. And there we go. We get ourselves some black dye. So this is going to be used for all of these rituals. So get used to making these. And then to actually convert them, we need to add them to the book. And as you can see right here, it'll say bound. So without that, it's not bound. Now it is bound, meaning we can use them. It's that straightforward and that simple. All right, so gold, right? Let's just toss some gold. 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's what it needed, right? And then it needs the base. And that just needs to go on one of these right here. And then last but not least, we just need to put the book in. Just like that. And it says right here, started binding. And so it is working. And as you can see, it's slowly consuming these. And I think the best way to accelerate this, because some of these take a long time, is to just simply accelerate the main base here. And that should make it go a little bit faster. It's not going to be like crazy dramatic, but it could definitely help. And there we go. We have the exact thing that we set out to get. Now you may be wondering, by the way, like you may be asking yourself, does it cost anything to do this? And well, no, it just cost the items that you needed in order to get to this point. So yeah, it's actually pretty cheap. Like to set up all of this, all you really need is these few items and just enough gold and access to the nether. And you can go ahead and set up a storage system. I mean, really, this is what this is used for. This is used as a part of the storage network. And by default, this actually is pretty cool because this storage, you place it in your world with your crystal matrix efforts combined. And you place it in your world and you actually get access to quite a bit of early game storage just in itself. And then, of course, you have access to this remote. And if you make this remote, this thing is pretty darn cool as well. It links to it and works cross-dimensionally, so you have access to this. And the storage is expandable and holds a ton using these dimensional storage stabilizers. I've been kind of messing around with this in All the Mods 9 over on Twitch. So if you want to check that out, twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect. I do stream over there a couple of days a week, so definitely worth checking out. But we did set up that storage, and I thought it was pretty darn cool. I knew we were going to have to get into something that required us to make the crushing demon spirit, which is probably one of the best ways to crush materials, as if you make the highest tier 1, it can actually, I believe, do up to 6 times ore processing, which is probably the best in this pack. But it does require a little bit to get into. So for the purple chalk, that's what I'm looking at. This requires crushed instone, and the only way to get this instone that it needs is via a crushing spirit. So we need to go through the process of making a crushing spirit, and it's actually very, very simple. It is going to require this basic book here, the foliate, and then it's going to require another type of ritual that is a very basic ritual that we're going to have to set up. So this bad boy is the one we're going to need. So we need the summon the foliate crusher. Pretty straightforward, right? And then let's see, where is this going to be at? Does it tell me specifically what the ritual is? Okay, so it needs the Aviara Aris circle. And then, yeah, so inside of this, we just need to look for that particular ritual. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that down here. Looks like it needs to go back to make it centered. Really hard to tell sometimes where center is. Perfect. And as you can see, it just requires the basic candles and just white chalk, because this is actually one of the first rituals that technically you should make. And then it's also going to require a sacrificial bowl, just like the other ones. Now, this is going to require raw forms of all of this stuff, so it's kind of nice that I have been storing this, so I shouldn't have to worry too much about what I have and what I don't, as I should have all of this, right? It just needs copper, it needs a little bit of iron, and I think it also needs gold, right? Yeah. So all of these super, super basic ingredients, pop those bad boys in, and it's the exact same thing that we had just set up, just like over here. That's how all of these rituals are going to work. So here is our book. We can go ahead and bind that. And when we put that in, it's just going to start working. just like we wanted it to. Speed that up a little bit. I don't know if this actually accelerates it any faster, like doing it multiple times, but there it goes. And so this spawns a physical like entity in the world, which is going to be interesting. And I need some end stone in order to give it, in order to make this. So without further ado, let's see who we got. Nice. I have no idea, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. I have no idea, but you're a little cutie. I love these guys. So you can interact with these guys by shift right clicking, or you can just toss the items at them and then they will start working. So this is going to start crushing, but because this is a lower tier, it's not going to give us a whole lot. It does drop the items on the ground, and it also has a decay. Eventually this little guy will disappear from this world. He only has so long in here. But of course the higher tiers, they last forever. So keep that in mind. And there we go. There's the material that we need in order to make the purple chalk. By the way, this guy can also grant you your obsidian as well. I wonder if this guy can be accelerated with this. I think that's actually accelerating it. It sounds like it's accelerating it. Oh my gosh, it is accelerating it. And is that applying multiple? Yes. Oh my gosh, this is like multiplying the effect every time. Oh my gosh, that is broken. This acceleration wand is amazing. So now for these last few, this is the other ritual that we needed in order to complete everything. And of course, this one is the same as all of the others. And except I'm going to need 2 of them, right? Because we need the max upgraded accumulator bases, which requires us to use the matrix, right? So there we go. So we have to combine these together in order to have the items needed for the all the mod star, which is ultimately what we're working towards, of course. And there we go. So that's this item, right? And so of course this is going to take some time and it's going to pull the items out. We can of course keep accelerating this, and it's good to know that we can just keep doing this now, and it's going to make it faster and faster each time we add the acceleration to this. That's pretty darn cool. So yeah, this takes a little bit longer. Some of these storage ones take quite a bit of time for whatever reason, but yep, it should start pulling, as you can see right there. Yeah, even with the acceleration, this one takes quite a bit of time. Perfect. And there we go. I have myself my dimensional crystal matrix, and then I can go ahead and combine that. And there we go. We have one of the 2 that we're going to need. And then of course, the other one actually uses the same ritual. It's just going to need these few items here in order to make this empty soul gem. Now for the final item, it does require copper, gold, some silver, and a diamond. And like I said, this is the last little bit. And then 4 soul sand. This is why I have all of these plates set out. And last but not least, we put this on here. There we go. Found. And it does say, well, there's an issue. Oh goodness. So make sure the ingredients are set up correctly. Are these all set up correctly? I think they are. Oh, I just accidentally clicked on the wrong thing, I think, because it is working and I didn't change anything. And this accelerates way faster. Yeah. This is way faster than the other one. I think all of the storage stuff just takes quite a bit of time, just like unnecessarily long for some reason. And there we go. So the last 2 items get consumed, and of course, then it finishes its last operation on itself. And there we go. And now we have all of the things from Occultism that technically are in the All the Mod star. And to you guys, I will say this has been a very interesting episode. I know I did not cover all the things of Occultism, nor did I explain, I guess, all of the fundamentals and basics of Occultism, but I definitely gave you enough information in order to craft the components for the All the Mod star, which is kind of the only thing I really wanted to do in Occultism. It does have some really great stuff, but it's more useful super early game than it is late in the game here, as it does its main priority and main use, in my opinion, is for that that storage. But of course, the crusher is kind of a nice late game thing as well that you can do, but you have to go through a bit more Occultism in order to get to that. Now, anyways, guys, do not forget, it is World Download Day, so get access to this World Download. Do some interesting things with that world. I'd love to see it over on the Discord. And of course, like I said, if you're a supporter of any tier, you do get access to that World Download here at episode 30. Guys, thank you so very much for watching. I do appreciate you, and thank you guys for clicking that subscribe button and giving this video a thumbs up. And now it's time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Mini Solaris. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. Also getting access to our amazing supporter servers. So be sure to check that out. Guys, I thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. And as always, again, thanks for watching. Bye.